Moby Dick was not too bad. This is a Warner Brothers cartoon from 1965, directed by Robert McKimson and written by Bill Danch and Ted Pierce, and Mel Blanc voices Daffy Duck and Speedy Gonzales. And they are both deserted on this island. Now, Daffy Duck has some cans of food, but no can opener, and Speedy Gonzales has no food, but he does have a can opener. And Speedy, in his kind soul, suggested we share the food and I'll give you the can opener. But Daffy Duck is not having it. He is very much an all or nothing kind of duck. He will either get the can opener from Speedy or they will both go hungry. The big question is, will he actually be able to open his food? He tries various different things to open his tins of food, and I always just think, just share the food. It's better than having nothing. But Daffy's very stubborn, as we know, and some of the things he tries are predictable. Some of them, most of them, not so much actually, which I thought was quite creative. And the way the cartoon ended, which I won't divulge, I hadn't expected either. So, for the most part, it's a pretty unpredictable cartoon with a really interesting narrative progression. Well, moderately interesting narrative progression that I actually really enjoyed. I worried it would get a bit repetitive, but actually it managed to sustain my attention all of the way through. Speedy was on top form, of course, but I think Daffy was the star of this one. Sometimes I feel Speedy gets all of the attention in cartoons with Daffy because he's usually the most interesting one, but in this one, actually, Daffy Duck was the most fascinating. Something happens to his butt or his tail feathers at one point, which visually I just thought worked very well. Definitely well animated, a really unpredictable and interesting narrative progression, which is something I typically always appreciate. Moby Dick is definitely a good narrative based on, on paper. I thought, how can you sustain this narrative? One's got a can opener, one's got food. How can you make this last 6 minutes? But actually, they did a really good job with it, and it's definitely one that I'd recommend, and I'd probably watch it again.